And I'm sorry, but this whole pacifist thing that Reese was doing, I'm sorry, but this is the same man who pretty much ordered his followers to love him more than their own families.
A completely random point just brought up by Ranger. Yes, I acknowledge, Ranger, that Jesus said some things that I disagree with morally. Like, love me more than you love your family, love me or you will burn in hell for all eternity. But I'm speaking comparatively. I am comparing Jesus to the Prophet Muhammad, who was a warlord and a rapist. Who do you think is worse? Who do you think is worse to emulate? Jesus, who was mostly a pacifist hippie and said a few fucked up things? Or a guy who literally spent his life slaughtering innocents? And this came out of nowhere. What is this? This is just like spastic regression. Oh no, he talked shit about Muhammad. We need to talk about Jesus now. Fuck Jesus, man. Look, I agree with you. We're all atheists here. Fuck Jesus. But Jesus Christ, can we keep this in context? Can we keep this? Can we keep our priorities straight?
You know, and it's like, I mean, and that part where I mentioned in the chat when I first got here, I thought, you know, where you guys were talking about, you know, they don't follow the Old Testament anymore. I mentioned, well, in Matthew it states that they should, because Jesus said, not until heaven and earth disappear, until everything has come to pass, my rules are still my fucking rules.
That is a completely worthless point for the quiet atheist to bring up. Jesus, yeah, we all know that according to the Bible, Christians are supposed to follow the laws of the Old Testament, and any attempt to wiggle out of that is hypocrisy. We agree with that. How about a more relevant point? The relevant point is Christianity has reformed itself, and exactly 0 Christians follow any of the Old Testament laws. Meanwhile, we have Muslims who follow their book to a T. I don't give a shit if they are supposed to follow their book, John. I'm not a Christian. I don't think any of that shit is true. What I care about are, you know what? This is the problem. It's not just sandbox anymore. It's not just playing around. This has actual real world consequences. What people believe matters. It has an impact on their lives and the lives of people around them. And Muslims have a greater chance of affecting people with their faith in a violent way. There are no Christians going around stoning people for working on the fucking Sabbath. And to bring that up is a waste of time and oxygen.
Well, I brought that up too, is that, like, look, you can find Muslims who live inconsistently with the Quran, and you can find Christians who live inconsistently with the Bible. It doesn't make fucking much difference, because people generally tend to be better than their holy books. Even if we go to Afghanistan, you will find the majority of Muslims in Afghanistan hate Al-Qaeda. They hate what they do, because when they do a suicide bombing, they end up killing Muslims.
Would you like to look at the Pew polls from Afghanistan? Because I'm sure they would horrify you. I also do not give a shit that the citizens of Afghanistan don't like Al-Qaeda. Guess what? The terrorist groups don't like each other. Al-Nusra doesn't like ISIS. Who gives a shit? Just because someone is not a fan of a terrorist group. By the way, there are many people who are supporters of these terrorist groups, but let's just gloss over them. But just because someone's like, oh, I don't like Al-Qaeda, does that somehow absolve them? The people in Afghanistan have fucked up, backwards views about women, gays, and Jews. Just because they are not fans of the local thugs and the local mafia who oppress them does not mean that they are fucking spirit children.
Yeah, now that
that.
So yeah, now that I
especially since if you even bother to read the Quran, it expressly forbids such an action.
But then on another page,
suicide bombing conducted is directly against the Quran's teaching.
Yeah.
Guess what? It also calls for martyrdom. Don't act like you know what the Quran says, you freak.
And see, now here's another thing that both the Bible and the Quran have in common. You see, you know, in certain parts of the books, they'll condemn one thing, right? But on a different page, they'll both promote it. You know, like if it's okay to kill somebody because of this or that. You know, there's so much.
In the Quran, you will never find a passage that condones suicide.
I know that. But
These guys expect to not be called Islam apologists. Did you just hear what happened? Quiet Atheists makes a direct comparison between the Bible and the Quran. Alright, we're already off to a bad start. And then the fucking goober defends Islam. Okay, this is what we are fighting. This is the regression. Notice it. Take note of how weak and how limp dick this is. This is pathetic. Call this out whenever you get a chance.
Yep.
And by the way,
And
as far
in the
as
Bible,
as far
but
as
not in the Quran.
yeah, just real quick, as far as Islam oppressing women, I was just about ready to tell that guy. The Bible is also the same book, and by the way, this is in the New Testament. The New Testament says that if a woman is on her period, she has to sleep outside.
There you go. We were talking about actual Muslim oppression of women in modern day 2016 countries. And what does Ranger have? Oh, there's a verse. Don't worry, guys. It's in the New Testament. Christians, you have to follow this. There's a verse that says if a woman is on her period, she has to sleep outside. Are there Christians who actually follow this, Atheist Ranger? Because if not, this was a weak waste of this conversation. This is so irrelevant. This has nothing to do with anything. See, quit playing in the fucking sandbox. We are talking about the real world. Great, you found some fucked up thing in a book. There are different layers to this. There's what the religions preach, and there's what the followers do. And these things matter. And you can't make that distinction. Oh, that's so smart of you, Atheist Ranger. You found something fucked up in the New Testament. I could find you 1,000 things fucked up in the New Testament. Guess what? There are no Christians who follow even a shred of that.
The best part about that is if you understand the Quran and you understand the Bible, any criticism of the Bible is also criticism of the Quran.
Exactly.
So,
I mean,
he's lambasting you for not criticizing Islam enough. It's like
exactly. And now,
I don't want your sloppy seconds fucking backwater criticism of Islam. Shoot straight from the hip. Just because there are elements within the Quran that borrow heavily from the Bible, that doesn't mean shit. They are two completely different books with different central messages to them. Don't give me that shit. Oh, he was criticizing you for not criticizing Islam enough. Atheist Ranger doesn't criticize Islam enough. He pussyfoots around the subject. Be a man, Ranger. Oh, you won't. It's too uncomfortable. I get it. I understand. Regressives can't handle this. This is such bullshit.
I even told him at the beginning of the hangout. I even said, "Look, I'm going to be doing both." Okay.
Yeah. And you know what, Atheist Ranger? It's your right to do them both. You could do whatever the fuck you want, man. Nobody could tell you what the hell to do.
Oh no, look, I still like Reese. Don't get me wrong, I still like Reese.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for his fucking approval. I'm not looking for anyone's fucking approval when I go on my channel.
Yeah.
I am not in any way trying to control your content. You can do whatever the fuck you want. I didn't even say quit talking about Christianity. Talk about Christianity. I was offering slight criticism and correction on the way you handle these topics. Anyone that I have made a video response to could make that claim. Quit being such teenage drama queens. You can do whatever the fuck you want, Ranger. You don't need to listen to that man. He doesn't own you, doesn't control your life. You people are unreasonable. You people can't be talked out of this. You're setting your ways. Stubborn jackasses. Get an education, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, exactly.
I was
Exactly.
that was awesome too. Like, oh, I'm apparently an Islam apologist.
Yeah,
But that's
Like, look,
but
I
that's
love
what
Muslim people. I have fun with them. They like me. They liked my ex, who's also a Muslim. I had a guy. And guess what? We got invited to barbecues. We got invited to the fucking mosque.
This guy really is the king of anecdotal evidence. Dude, you are an Islam apologist. You are all Islam apologists. And the worst thing is, you can't see it. You're almost breaking the fourth wall here. You're so close to enlightenment. And you're like, oh, well, we criticize Islam. We don't think Islam is true, so therefore, how can we be Islam apologists? How about this? You are Muslim apologists. You do not understand that on average, Muslims are worse people than Christians. Ooh, doesn't that sting? Doesn't that sting your regressive brain? Fuck off.
Yeah, I had a good friend in high school. Sorry, go ahead.
Most people's opinions aren't based on facts.
It's just
Right,
their
man?
opinion.
True.
How they see the world, stuff like this. None of it's really right? So it's just, I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh my god. Speak for yourself, you fucking tool. My worldview is based on evidence. It's based on pew polls. It's based on what Muslims actually believe. It's not based on, oh, I knew a Muslim and he was nice and we went to the mosque. It was a good time. That is garbage. That is a garbage lens to view the world through. There are people like you, weaklings, who view the world through your personal experience. And then there's people like me who take a step back and look at the world as a whole. Understand that difference and why I am superior to this garbage.
Yeah,
Especially with religion, there is
everybody
no
thinks their opinion
right view.
is fact. It's funny. You know,
I
everybody.
will tell you, dude, that I have no idea, bro. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Half the time.
Well, that sounds like a personal problem, friend.
Existing is awesome, I'll tell you that, though. Fun time, even when it sucks. But if you're just going to criticize religion, right, it just seems like a waste of time, dude. It really does. And I'm an atheist.
Atheism 0.1. You don't see what good could come out of criticizing religion? You're an atheist. You do understand that religions aren't true, right? You do understand that this has a negative effect on our planet? People believing in bullshit on a large scale might fuck things up? Remove yourself from this conversation. I disqualify you. Get to atheism 1.0 at the very least. Fuck you.
It just,
I know. I think I saw you in Neff's hangout, didn't I?
I like to troll Nephilim occasionally, but
Why would you waste your time with Nephi?
I haven't done it in a while, but we have a special bond
really
together.
blocked by that motherfucker.
We have a
Pointing
special
out the
bond.
hypocrisy of his views.
Yeah.
This is the caliber of person who tried to challenge my views on Islam the other night. These are atheism 1.0 regressive fucks who spend their time talking to Nephilim free. Gee, how productive, guys. So have fun in the fucking baby pit while I will be dealing with the world's problems.
But dude, I didn't even know that people got shot. You guys were talking about cops dying and stuff like this. It's amazing, how different people are, how their viewpoints, how their lives are, things like this, and what they include in their life and what they exclude. And everything's still the same. Nothing has changed. It's all reality. But for some reason, I continue to exclude certain things, right?
Yes, atheism 0.1 dipshit. You exclude a necessary criticism of religion from your life. Because I just don't see the point, man. It's too hard, man. What are you going to do? You can't stop people from believing, man. I don't know, man. It's a little difficult. You exclude a lot of things from your life. You also have been excluding brain cells. I would suggest getting that checked up on.
I continue to exclude religion. I think that sometimes it's silly. And then there's other times, dude, where I don't exclude it, where I include it in my life. A particular passage or something like this, or a talk with a grown man about important subjects that's a Christian, has been very beneficial to me sometimes, dude.
Oh my God. Holy shit. Okay, so you think religion is a little silly? Just a little silly, It has a few quirks here and there, but sometimes I'll take a particular passage because it had so much meaning to me. Dumbass. Shut the fuck up, dude.